Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Resilient Routes. I'm your host, Victoria Roberts, and I am so excited to have you here with me today as we embark on this journey together. For those of you who may not know me, I am a real estate managing broker. I'm an advocate for fair housing and equality, and someone who has spent most of my life learning how to turn life's challenges into strength. But I'm not just all about business. So I've got a deep passion for music, a story rooted in resilience. I'm on a mission to help others find their own strength, whether it's business, whether it's life, or the everyday grind. And that's what this podcast is going to be all about. Sharing our stories, sharing our lessons, and real talk about how we can navigate through some tough times and find success in our path. I thought it'd be fitting to share a little bit of my own story and my own journey with you, as this podcast is going to focus on not only real estate and business, but on the personal side as well. Often untold stories of resilience that fuels us, because after all, we only grow in our business to the extent of our personal growth. And we're going to undertake a lot of those in a lifetime. I've been in the real estate game for over 20 years, and I've seen a lot of shifts and changes, from the challenges of running a brokerage to guiding my team through the earthquake. Yes, I said earthquake. I'm still scared to death of earthquakes to this day. That was not a great morning. And navigating the global pandemic. But perhaps the toughest challenge has been the one that people don't always see, right? The ones that I face every day. I live with several chronic health conditions, Ehlers-Danlos being one of them, osteoarthritis, severe in many spots, spinal stenosis, POTS, you name it, it adds up. It's probably on my list somewhere. There's a running list. I can do the alphabet with all the stuff that they keep throwing at me. And these conditions affect my mobility, they affect my energy, they give me brain fog. So you will sometimes see me kind of glancing at a script because, for my disability, at times I have to oftentimes write up a little bit of a script just to keep me on point, and most people have to do that. But without it, I'm just going to ramble on and keep rambling. So I have to have that to keep me on point there. But they also have helped shape my business and my outlook on life. And it's changed. My goals have changed. My dreams have changed. What life means to me has changed over the last couple of years. And I've learned that resilience really isn't just a buzzword. It's a daily choice, a decision to show up, get up and show up. After all, they say 80% is just showing up. So whether you show up falling down, whether you show up fumbling your words, which I often do, just show up. You're going to learn along the way. You're going to grow outside of your box. And most of the time, just showing up is being outside of your box, right? And that's where that growing takes place. You want to keep there we go again. You want to keep moving forward, even when you feel like you're running on empty. And I feel like that a lot. There's a lot of times I'm running on empty, and self-care has really become a staple in my life, to where before it was all about everybody else, all about the kids, all about the husband, all about the job, all about the clients. Nothing in that encompassed me. So that is something that has changed significantly in my life over just the last 5 years. I've found ways to keep going when my energy is down, and I want to be able to share those through you. And I'm going to share those through you in different times and points throughout this podcast. So for some of you guys that, may not know what Ehlers-Danlos is, it's a connective tissue disorder. So it's got loosey-goosey joints is what one rheumatoid arthritis doctor told me. But it's really funny to watch me run. So if I start like running, my legs are just like flailing all over the place like rubber, and I cannot stop. I literally have to fall down. I went out for track and field one time in my junior high year, and that didn't go well. Those stands you're supposed to jump. Well, I didn't quite make it, and I went tumbling down because I couldn't get the spring to jump because my legs were just flailing everywhere. So I didn't know that at the time. I was great at gymnastics. I loved the uneven bars. I always sprained my ankles. I always had wrist problems. I did Taekwondo for a while. I was very active and hiking and all of this great stuff. But through the years, I ended up with some pain. So I ended up in the emergency room several times from my 20s on, thinking I was dying, thinking I was having a heart attack. Well, they kept chopping it up to it's a panic attack, it's an anxiety attack, because when doctors don't know what to do with you, that's the first thing that they throw out there, right? So I suffered from that a lot, and it was really weird because it would hit when I'm not stressed out. It would hit when I don't have anxiety. I didn't have a lot going on in my life. I would just turn my head. I would just sit up from kind of like a reclined position. All these weird things that would happen. And it happened for a very long time until I finally got diagnosed just 3 years ago with it. I also complained about joint pain. I complained that my hands weren't working as fast. There were times where I couldn't walk. My mobility was getting worse and worse and worse. And I woke up one day and it really, really hurt to walk. And I ended up going to the doctors. And at that time, I weighed about 130 pounds. So I wasn't on the heavy side, and they couldn't figure out why I couldn't walk. So instead of running tests, instead of running genetics, they just decided to throw candy at me, which is medication. That's what I call it, candy. And they put me on steroids. So I was on steroids for almost 2 years. And it took the pain away, and it helped me walk a little bit better. However, I had osteoarthritis. Lo and behold, the bone pain. And so being on the steroids for the 2 years really took a toll on that arthritis, and it sped it up. So it sped it up to severe in numerous locations. I have SI joint dysfunction. And so I now have spinal issues. I've always had spinal issues. My spine was always kind of curved, things of that nature. I have disc degenerative disease in there. I have an extra tailbone. I remember the doctor walking in the office, and it was the ortho surgeon, and he was like, "Congratulations, your test came back that you have an extra tailbone. That equates to more pain. So awesome, you're in the 1%. And I was like, "Oh, great. Do I get an award for the pain?" It gets to the point to where it just gets redundant. And, I've had stomach issues and gastrointestinal issues. They thought I was celiac at one point in time, and I'm not celiac. I have mast cell. And so some days I can be allergic to something, and the other day I'm not. Other days I can handle certain foods. Other times I cannot. So I really try to stay away from processed foods. I do eat gluten, but only if it is homemade. Homemade stuff, organic homemade stuff, I seem to do okay in. I love to go to Vegas because I can pretty much eat in almost every restaurant there. When I come back home, I ate at a Mexican restaurant just a week and a half ago, and it knocked me down all weekend long. It'll make me look like I'm pregnant. I will get hot flashes, severe joint pain, you name it. So, it really took a toll on me. And it was years and years and years of trying to find out what was wrong with me. And the scariest moment was when I fell by the front door. I was sitting there talking to my husband. He works in a mine, and we had just hung up, and it was a great day. I was feeling great. And I went and moved myself up just a smidgen. And the minute I did that, all of a sudden it just went whomp. It was just whoosh. And that's kind of what it felt like. And I couldn't get my bearings. You felt like you're not here, like you're out of touch. And so I got scared because you feel like you're going to pass out. I guess that's the feeling of passing out, right? And so I tried to go downstairs to my daughter, and I don't know how I made it through the first part of the stairs. I felt like I floated down the stairs, to be honest with you. I don't remember if I touched them. And I fell by the front door. I opened up the front door, and I laid there, and I thought that this is it. This is it. I've been screaming about my heart. I've been screaming about palpitations. I've been screaming about this since my 20s. This is it. I'm like 47 years old, and I'm going to die right here and have a heart attack by my front door. Well, I ended up recovering. I felt like this burp, like this bloop. It was really weird. I ended up being able to, after a little bit, find my way back upstairs, and I laid on the couch for quite a while. Ended up in the emergency room that night, and then I ended up doing one of our meetings for my brokerage that morning, even though I was in the hospital all night long there. And that's what kind of started all of this stuff with my heart and the POTS and the bradycardia, things of that nature. So typically, a lot of times with POTS, your blood pressure goes like through the roof. Well, mine's the opposite. Mine goes down. And you can have bradycardia with POTS. It's not often, but you can have it. And it is one of those awesome symptoms that are there. And so that was like one of the scary moments, but that's what kind of started all of this catalyst. And I kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And so my cardiologist, he told me, he's like, there's something else wrong. There's something majorly wrong with you. We got to figure it out. So he sent me to all these specialists and they all blew me off. And then we finally found one that did not. And then I finally started getting diagnosed with the Ehlers-Danlos, who sent me to the orthosurgeon, who found out I have severe osteoarthritis. Like just this movement right here, my elbow's killing me. Just that right there was painful, And so we went on this journey, and I thought when they told me I had Ehlers-Danlos, I would be relieved. I was not. I was not one that was like, yes, I have a diagnosis. I was one of, I wanted something that they could fix. I wanted something that they could fix me with, make it fixable, make my life what it used to be, where I could walk, I could go hiking, I had all this energy, but that was not the case. And the doctors, I underwent a lot of painful procedures, Blanche Brock's, all that great stuff to try and stop the nerve pain. I am in that great 1% that has a severe reaction to that. And so it flared up all of my nerves in my body. It's like your body's one big root canal. And so that was pretty painful. So we couldn't go down that road. And all the doctors, the orthosurgeon, neurosurgeons, and my pain relief doctor, all they kept saying is, to my husband is, we're just trying to give her the best quality of life. For your wife, it's the best quality of life. It's the best quality of life. I got to the point, if I heard those words, best quality of life, one more time, I was going to just punch somebody. Because to me, this is not my best quality of life. I was so active, and I was just so active, and now I'm not. And so what my head said on a quality of life did not match what theirs was. They're like, ooh, don't be working out because of your heart rate. Don't be doing this. Don't be doing that. But, oh, by the way, since you've been on steroids for 2 years, you gained a buttload of weight. I went up to 198 pounds. So I'm losing that weight, and I've been slowly losing that weight. But you have to lose weight, but don't work out while you do it. I mean, right? Like a catch. It's taken me, I think I'm on like 4 years of this diagnosis now, because it was 3 last year. So I have to be on the 4 now. And I'm now coming to realize that what is quality of life? And your quality of life is going to change throughout the years. Your why is going to change throughout the years. What you choose to do in business, what you choose to do in your path of life is going to change. And it's okay to mourn what you thought it looked like. It's okay to allow yourself to feel those feels. It's sad and it's rough, and you feel like your whole world is crashing down on you. And through that rubble, you have to be resilient. You have to slowly pick yourself up. I don't care if you just got up that day and the next day you took a shower. Find something that you can do to accomplish to keep pushing you forward, and eventually you will get there. I still have my rough days. There's times where I still lay there and cry because the pain's so bad. People don't see that. I don't share that side of it. I'm a big advocate of Ehlers-Danlos and the slew of stuff that comes with it, because our mascot's a zebra, because no stripe is alike. A lot of us have the same foundational issues, but different symptoms. And man, I'm an advocate for it. I share what it's about. I give everybody a little glimpse into my world of Ehlers-Danlos, but man, they really don't see behind the scenes. They don't see that behind the scenes. If I'm having a massive energy day at work, I'm on the couch and I'm not moving. Or the pain it takes to get up from that couch. So people say you need to sit down, then you need to stand up because of your back and all this stuff and all this osteoarthritis, right? So you need to keep moving around. It hurts if I sit for any length of time. It hurts if I stand for any length of time. So what am I going to do? If I lay in the bed, it feels a little bit better, but I'm constantly tossing and turning because of my SI joint dysfunction. And then one of the greatest questions doctors ask out there, I hate this question. What's your pain scale on a 1 to 10? I would always tell them, I don't know, a 0. And it's because I was used to the pain I was in. So to me, that was a 0 or a 5. Or actually, I never even went up to 5 in the beginning, because I was like about a 3, because the pain level had gone up. But I was used to this kind of pain. And I thought everybody had this kind of pain. I really did. I really thought everybody was like that. And I was wrong. They are not like that. And then when they did all the x-rays and the MRIs, so many MRIs, and they did all the MRIs of my exoskeleton, and they told me that I have severe arthritis in pretty much every joint I have. I asked the doctor, I said, you know what, doc, I'm going to ask you this question. On a pain scale from 1 to 10, what would you rate the pain of severe osteoarthritis? He said, anywhere between an 8 and a 10, and on bad days over a 10. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, that's where I've been sitting for like years. I mean, we're talking 10, 15 years. That's where I've been sitting. It wasn't until the SI joint has been stopping me from walking because it's pinching my nerves. I have an S1 nerve that's being pinched. I have discs that are growing together. I have a couple that are protruding. And so I have nerve damage in both my legs, and I can feel it all the time. I don't know where that's going to take me. I don't know what my life is going to be. At one point, I used to be scared to death that I'm going to end up in a wheelchair. Now, 4 years into this journey, I'm not as scared anymore because I'm just going to enjoy every moment I got while I have it. And it may or may not happen. So why look to mourn something that hasn't happened yet? So I will tell everybody out there, if you've just been diagnosed with a chronic illness, it doesn't matter what it is. You're going to go through those feels, and you're going to go through all of that. And just know it's okay to feel those feels. And it is okay to mourn who you were, because you're now going to be on a journey to find out who you're going to be. And you're going to grow in certain areas that you never thought you could ever grow in before. But you have to allow yourself to feel those feels. So that is my story, a little bit of my story. And I'm a real estate manager. As I said, I'm a designated broker here in Alaska for a real estate company. I'm going to have some real estate on this show. I'm going to have health advocate on this show, from mental health all the way down to anything that has to do with health, really. With real estate, it'll be fair housing, and it will be the real estate market, some top producers, what they do in their business, some great business tips for you. And then my passion. What fuels me and gets me through each day is music. Music is the heartbeat of the soul. So music is also going to be on the podcast. Those are my 3 passions. And so those are the passions I'm going to be bringing to you. I have an exciting lineup of guest speakers that are going to be coming and talking with us. So I'm really excited to share that with you. So I hope you subscribe. I hope you stay tuned, and I hope you follow me. And if you have any questions, or if you would like to see a topic on any issue, and it could be anything that, even if it's on chronic illness and I don't have your chronic illness, but you want to see something on there, let me know. I might even invite you on to be a guest. If you're not ready for that, that's okay. I can do the homework and do the research and do a podcast about it. Because the more people we educate, the better off we are with the knowledge that we can obtain, right? So that's my podcast. I hope you guys, I just hope that it reaches who it's supposed to reach. I am not looking for millions of likes. I'm not looking for millions of views. I'm not looking for anything like that. The reason why I'm doing this is because I have felt alone in my journey. I have an amazing husband, and I have amazing support. The company that I work for gives me amazing support. But you can have amazing support and still feel alone, because your life's changing. And I want to make sure that no one feels alone, and that you know that you have a support system, and you can lean on those of us that have been through it and walked it. And then when it comes to the real estate side, I've been there. I've been up to the top producer, and then I went through a divorce, and it went back down and then back up again. And what it takes to get your business to thrive for you. What are we needing to do, especially in this ever-changing landscape, right? What do you need to do to provide money for you and your financial freedom and your financial wealth? So I'm excited to be able to talk about that. And then fair housing. There's so much. We have come a long way in fair housing and equal rights. We have come a very long way in a short amount of time. However, we have a long ways to go. So I cannot wait to talk to you about that passion. And music, like I said, music is the heartbeat of the soul to me. It gets me through and pulls me through. So I'm hoping to have some musicians on here. We're going to have some music history, go down music lane a little bit. So we're going to have some fun episodes. We're going to have some serious episodes. it's going to kind of be a mix of all three of those. And I'm going to label them so you're going to know exactly what they are. So I hope you all stay tuned, and I hope you all subscribe. And I'm going to end this right there. And thank you for watching Resilient Routes with Victoria Roberts. You guys have an amazing day, and I will see you next week. I don't know how to stop the recording. Even when I do videos, I don't know how to stop the recording. Thank goodness TikTok just automatically stops it when you're on TikTok, right? Anyway, I think I found it. So, all right, you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you soon.